Unemployment is a term referring to individuals who are employable and actively seeking a job but are unable to find a job. Included in this group are those people in the workforce who are working but do not have an appropriate job. Canada is a country in North America, making it the world's second largest country by total area, with the world's longest coastline. It borders with the United States in the world's longest international land border. It is a sparsely inhabited country of 40 million people. Canada is a highly developed nation with one of the largest economies in the world, impacting much of global trade. Its largest industry are real estate, mining and manufacturing, and it is home to some of the largest mining companies in the world. In the middle of this economic engine has a serious problem, which is unemployment. Unemployment in Canada is the unused supply of labor in the labor force. Unemployment has risen on average since the mid-1960s, both in absolute number and as a percentage of the labor force.
Next, let's talk about unemployment problem in Canada in 2022. Based on the graph above, the unemployment rate in Canada is 5.21%. There are three unemployment problems in Canada. The first problem is the permanent layoff that affect about 810,100 people, 77,000 of whom are young people between the age 15 and 24 who lost their job because company wanted to downsize. Second is people who are sick enough to be unable to work. In 2022, up to 109,400 people will retire due to several side effects of COVID-19 disease and other factors. Lastly, as a result of lack of education and skill, according to people who live in Nunavut, Canada, unemployment among bachelor degree holder is 1.9%, with up to 8,085,400 people remain jobless due to inability to work in mining, transportation and fishing industry.
Monetary policy delivered hitherto unheard of support into the financial market and the economy at the start of the pandemic. While increasing their balance sheet more, central bank lowered short-term interest rate to almost zero. The Bank of Canada implemented several measures, such as increasing the size of its balance sheet from 122.9 billion in February in 2020 to 530.5 billion a year later, guaranteeing bank liquidity, intervening in certain financial market. After this initial delay, the bank hiked its policy interest rate sharply from 0.25% to 4.50% during 2022. As it became clear that higher prices were not the transitory supply-driven phenomenon the bank originally assumed. In so doing, the bank acknowledged the inflation was also due to an excess of demand over supply. In 2022, monetary policy shifted its focus to reducing inflation, but fiscal policy continued to inject stimulus and thus boost overall demand. Stimulus come from ongoing deficit as well as the lag effect of past COVID-related government transfer to individuals and businesses, leading to an extra 200 to 300 billion of household saving accumulating during 2020, according to Bank of Canada estimates.
In conclusion, Canada is a very advanced country with technology and economic growth. This is because the Canadian government is smart and organizing strategies. But due to the coronavirus that has arisen, employers need to reduce the number of employees to ease the burden of operating costs. Employers need to ensure that their business can survive in this situation by reducing the workforce. The unemployment rate fluctuates every month. This is because many businesses cannot stay in business due to loss of money and a lot of debt. Canada managed to adapt to the economic situation at that time. As a result, the unemployment rate in Canada is decreasing.
Based on the article I have chosen about Canada's shed jobs for a second straight month in July, unemployment rate unchanged. Canada's unemployment rate stayed a historic low of 4.9% in July, remaining unchanged from June as the country continues to face a labour shortage. In its latest labour force survey, Statistics Canada says the economy lost 3,100,000 jobs, marking the second consecutive month of job losses. The number of public sector employees fell while the number of self-employed workers rose. There was little change in the number of private sector workers. Canada's labour market remains exceptionally tight with over 1 million job vacancies across the country. The unemployment rate is the lowest on record with comparable data going back to 1976. Other than that, this article also provides other opinion about the unemployment rate in Canada. CIBC senior economist Andrew Grandam noted that the job losses in July were concentrated in the services sector, including wholesale, retail, education and health. With some of the sectors reporting high vacancy rates, labour supply rather than demand appears to be the main issue.